Some people mistake quiet for weakness. They assume success has to be loud, and sometimes they learn the truth the hard way. One afternoon, a man in an expensive car slowed down at a bus stop. He recognized someone sitting there, Ian, a former college classmate, back in school. Ian had talked about big dreams, financial freedom, building something meaningful, becoming wealthy one day. The man stepped out of his car with a grin. "Don't tell me you're waiting for the bus," he said. "Is this how it all turned out?" Ian looked up calmly. "I'm just saving money," he replied. "There's nothing wrong with taking the bus," the man laughed. "That's easy to say when you don't have any." He reminded Ian of his old ambitions, mocking the idea that he would ever become a millionaire. Ian didn't argue. He simply returned to his book. The man shook his head and drove away. Convinced he had won some invisible competition, he had a meeting to attend, a big one. His boss had called earlier with strict instructions. They were meeting an important real estate investor at a high-end jewelry store, a man known for closing major deals. "Be on your best behavior," his boss warned. "We cannot afford to lose this client." Confident and self-assured, he walked into the jewelry store ahead of schedule. He browsed watches. $75,000, the owner told him for one of them. He smirked as if the number meant nothing. Then the door opened. Ian walked in, slightly out of breath, wearing a staff badge. The man burst out laughing. "Of course," he muttered to the owner. "He said he'd be rich one day. Now he's working here." The store owner said nothing. Feeling bold, the man made a careless offer. "If he kneels and cleans my shoes," he said, "I'll buy the watch right now." There was a pause. The owner quietly spoke to Ian. Ian walked over, knelt down, and began wiping the shoes without saying a word. At that moment, the man's boss rushed into the store. He stopped cold. His expression changed instantly. "Chris, what are you doing?" he demanded. Then, he turned toward Ian. "Mr. Hill, I am so sorry." The room went silent. Chris stared in confusion. "Mr. Hill," his boss did not hide his anger. "Yes. The investor we came here to meet." Ian stood up slowly. He brushed off his hands. Composed. "I told you earlier," he said, looking directly at Chris. "Be humble." He removed the staff badge. "I own this store," he continued, "and several others in the city." There was no anger in his voice, only certainty. Chris had judged a moment too quickly. He had confused appearance with value, and in doing so, he lost more than a deal. He lost his position. We live in a world that rewards confidence, but confidence without humility can destroy opportunities before they even begin. The real lesson: success doesn't need to announce itself, and the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. If this story made you think twice, drop a yes in the comments. And remember, never judge a future by its present appearance.